when the right people come together at the right moment, when they care almost as much about winning as they do about each other, they can become the best of the best.
Welcome to the best soccer show, the best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go! It's the best soccer show. Jason Davis, Jared Dubois, live on a Sunday evening, basking in the glow of John Tolkien's hair, thinking about...
I was early on the train.
You were buying into the Tolkien hype train from the very beginning. You were the conductor of said train.
Yep.
It's simply the hair, right? It's not. You don't know anything else about John Tolkien, do you? Do you have
not a thing.
A bio? Do you know what he's into? Do you know? First of all,
I'm assuming Lord of the Rings.
Do you know if he has ever taken photographs in a barn on some hay with livestock around? Do you know if he's ever painted any works of art?
Are you trying to say that he's the first hair muse since Breck Shea?
No, I'm simply comparing him based on the haircut to Breck Shea. We do have Tommy McNamara who then cut off his lovely locks. He also plays with Aaron Long, who kind of is half committed to the
Aaron Long at
days.
times is trying to go for it, Tolkien's all in though. Tolkien's all in.
Tolkien is definitely all in.
And the nickname I patented last week, Disco Pony.
we can go. I can go with Disco Pony. I think I'm okay with that one. All right. We are live on a Sunday. A couple of days, we presume, from the drop of the U.S. men's national team roster for the final 3 World Cup qualifiers, the ones that will decide if the United States makes it to Qatar 2022. We're going to get to that. We'll talk about our predictions for the roster. We'll go through some of the current situations. Jared, is this a night? Do we have to talk about
Shadow Squad?
Is this maybe a Shadow Squad situation here,
because of COVID, or do you just?
No, I'm just wondering.
Or everyone's backup is playing. Is that what you're saying?
Everybody needs to be on hand. Everybody, all hands on deck. This is it, man. You don't get.
Okay, let's level set real quick. Who are the players that are out that are bringing Shadow Squad into effect? Well, obviously there's Weston McKennie. That's what
we know. Weston McKennie is out. Chris Richards, as far as I can tell, is still out. I don't think he's back. If he's training, he's not in teams for Hoffenheim now.
Okay, but that's assuming Chris Richards is a starter. Is Chris Richards a starter right now for this team over Miles Robinson and Walker Zimmerman?
No, but I thought Shadow Squad was one more step beyond, because you would want Chris Richards on the bench, right? So one step beyond.
Well, there is a
Chris
Shadow
Richards.
Squad center back that we talked about last time that probably doesn't have to be a Shadow Squad center back anymore, and that's Aaron Long.
Yeah,
back playing again.
Twice mentioned already on the show. Okay, we're going to do the roster. We're going to talk about the roster. Maybe we'll bring Shadow Squad into effect. I don't know if the signal needs to go out for Shadow Squad necessarily. I think we have to talk about Jesse Marsch. I think we have to get into a little bit of...
So feel respect for the Gegner.
What's going on at Leeds, because Jesse got his first win. It's a big one. He has to beat Norwich, right? Norwich is at the bottom of the table. They're the dregs. They're the trash of the Premier League. If you don't beat Norwich, you're definitely in big trouble. The first 2 games did not go the way he wanted to. The narrow loss against Leicester, where they thought they played pretty well, and then just get a housing by Steven Gerrard and Aston Villa. So we'll talk about where Jesse is. And maybe Huddles, Jared. Do you have any opinions on Huddles after the game? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Opinions on Cuddles.
Well, are you a cuddler?
Oh, I am. I am a cuddler, just so you know.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
In my relationship, I'm the cuddler.
Yeah. Are you okay? Hold on. Is this a head on the bosom kind of situation? Are you big spooning? What's going on? I'm just curious. A little bit of insight.
I am the person that will reach out, put an arm around. I'm the person that, I'm also the person that gets hot. So I'm a 5-minute cuddler.
Okay, that's not a commitment to cuddling, right?
When your wife never does it, I am the cuddler then.
Okay.
And on the couch, if you ever look at our body positioning, if you ever look at the body language on my couch in my house, it says, I love my wife and she doesn't like me.
Okay, we're getting some deep psychology from the Dubois household right now. All right, that's certainly interesting in terms of what's going on. let's. I want to start with a little bit of fun, though, a little bit of like something light. So we talked about John Tolkien and the haircut, and he certainly may step up as the new Breck Shea, I guess you could say. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't know what the guy gets into off the field, right? I don't know if he's catching.
And is that a compliment?
At the
new
training
Breck Shea?
ground?
Does anyone want to be the new Breck Shea?
Yeah,
there was
sure,
a time where Breck Shea was like playing for Fulham or overseas, like big time player.
No, he never went to Fulham. He was never at Fulham.
No, Bolton. Where is he? Where was he?
He may hold on. He may have been on loan at Bolton briefly. This is the thing about Breck Shea. Breck Shea's the early part of Breck Shea's career at this point is kind of shrouded in mystery. Like it's like one of those things, like a something like a Mandela effect thing, but maybe in reverse.
It was Stoke.
Well, he went to Stoke. That was the club that he got transferred to, but he did not have a good time at Stoke City Football Club. There are things you don't remember. Jared, you remember, we talked about them at the time because we've been doing the show long enough that he was at Stoke. Did you know that Breck Shea was interviewed in his car on transfer deadline day? Did you know that? That happened.
No, but what was the car?
I don't remember what he was driving. He may have been with Maurice Adu at the time, who was also at Stoke. Like I think it was just an American car that they were in, and you know how they do the training ground interviews on transfer deadline day. Like Jim White's in the building at Sky Sports headquarters, and then they go out to the
Morgan's giving us the facts: Stoke City, Barnsley, Birmingham City. 3, 8, and 6 caps respectively.
Yeah, he went on loan to a couple. Do you know that he got in trouble for that picture where he's holding a big ass gun in his American?
It's America, right? What kind of trouble do you get in for that?
He posted
it
on
his
Instagram.
You think Breck Shea's the type of guy who's like the city's. I mean, the team's insurance is like, Breck, you're kind of the guy that might shoot yourself in the foot. Like this is outside of what, like, you know, some athletes can't ski.
Hold on. This is while he was playing in England, and he posted this picture. I don't know if he was home for a little while or something. He posted this picture. I want to say Zubas. I don't know if they were Zubas or not. He was definitely wearing some American flag paraphernalia, like an American flag cutoff shirt or, you know, tank top kind of situation. He's got a big ass gun. And because the British are not gun people, Jared, they're very much not gun people, this caused like a big furor over
more
there.
musket folk.
No, I think they like.
They're fine with cannons on their club teams, but
I think they like the fencing swords. I think they're a big fencing culture, right?
A saber.
Oh well, sabers are. What is a saber? What's the difference between a saber and a sword?
I think a saber is a one-edged sword. I'm not positive.
So just more like a knife situation.
You say like things you don't know about Breck Shea. Have you ever recently, for people that maybe don't remember much, or maybe you got the U.S. national team late?
That's what I'm saying.
The other day, you know what I watched? I watched the 4-3 win over the Netherlands in the Netherlands. Like the USA, when they, like from 2016 it is. Go watch that game. It is one of the most effed up crazy games ever, and Breck Shea played in it.
A Jurgen Klinsmann classic is what that was, right?
Breck Shea played in Netherlands main stadium against the Netherlands after they placed third place in the World Cup. Breck Shea was on that team that won.
Breck Shea at one point was an MVP candidate in Major League Soccer. Okay, that's who Breck Shea was at one point in his career. Like Breck Shea is he's like our John. What's the guy's name? Is it Bunyan? Who's the
Paul
mythical
Bunyan?
Paul Bunyan? I say John. Paul,
the Blue Ox. He's more the Blue Ox.
Paul Bunyan, and then the guy with the that was like putting the railroad together. John something. The other guy.
Yeah, I forget what that is. John Steele or something. It's some manly name. Like
John
Henry.
Fantastic. John Henry. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I'm putting these together. Mythic characters is what I'm saying. So in the spirit of Breck Shea mythic character, our own Morgan Tensa put together. This came out of last week's show, right? This
my idea.
Came out of last week's show. What if Breck Shea...
Morgan made my dream a reality.
So what was the concept? What was
the concept was, wouldn't you watch Breck Shea as he goes from team to team across the league?
Yeah.
He's in the city anyway.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you watch him do something that is themed along the lines of the team he's playing in that city?
Something stereotypical, right? Something you would see on the dorkiest travel show. Like, oh, I'm in Boston. I got to throw tea in the harbor. So that's what he does. That's one of the things that Morgan has put together. So can we bring these up? Morgan, do you have these ready to go? I'm not sure where we are with all this. I do. I see them all. Okay, let me do it, Morgan. I want to make sure that that I've got this together. Okay, so where do you want to start, Jared? Pick a city. Tell me where you wanted to start with Breck Shea.
Let's start with Colorado.
Okay, Colorado. Here is Breck Shea riding the rapid.
So is that his tongue in his mouth? Like, okay, for the podcast listeners, you got to come back and watch the YouTube feed because we got every one of these. Or go to our Instagram page where you can find Morgan posted all these. And she did a season 2, I believe, as well. She did
there's
2
so
seasons
many
of the show.
Yeah, because you can't do. There's 28 MLS teams. You can't do them all in one season. That's too many episodes.
You know which one has the best face though?
Which
FC
one's
Cincinnati.
Okay, since eating its skyline, Breck Shea eats its skyline.
Part of me wants to believe that that's Nick's body that she put Breck's face on.
Shout out to Nick, whose team won again. Obviously, this is from a travel show. Look, the guy's got a lapel mic on.
Yeah, and there's like a major general behind it, like overseeing the skyline activity.
Oh, that's so good. All right, so let's see. What else do we got here? Well, Breck Shea goes to New York City. Jared, what would you do in New York City if you were Breck Shea? What would you do? Would you make a pizza? Look at that. He's making a pizza. Breck Shea.
That's hipster Breck Shea right there with a hat on.
I don't know. This is like some straight up rural Italian stuff.
Props to Morgan too, because even when you blow these photos up, the Photoshop job is pretty good.
Photoshop is good.
It's pretty good.
Photoshop. I think there's a couple I haven't seen yet, and they're so small as I pull these up. Okay. I don't know what this one's going to be, Jared. Breck Shea goes to Montreal. We want to guess? Guess what is he doing?
I think I know what this one is. I know what it is.
What is it?
I think he becomes a francophone and learns French.
Oh, it's not he goes to a strip club? Oh, no, it is. You're right. It's he learns French in Montreal. He's learning French.
The part of that I would want to see, though, as a producer, if I was producing the show, is not just that, but then he has to go out and try to have a conversation on the street. Like he has to procure something from someone.
He has to use
He has to order a crepe or something.
Yes, absolutely. Like he has to get directions to the strip club. Okay, I don't know why I'm fixated on that part.
That's every other corner.
Grand Ole Opry for Nashville on stage at the Grand Ole Opry. That's perfect. You think Breck Shea could bust out a country song if you asked him to?
Do you think the majority? Let's say Breck Shea had a CD disc like stack, like one of those old flip things that we used to have.
The books.
It was literally how you would value your music, because if someone looked through it, it's a statement about who you are.
When you and I were like 17 years old, our most precious possession was our CD case.
Yeah,
like that was your pride and joy.
You got like 100, 200 of them, like a Bible.
We'd have cell phones. We didn't have cell phones. We maybe had pagers, and you don't want to lose your pager. But man, we didn't have those things. We didn't have. I was driving a car.
Did you alphabetize yours, or did you genre them?
I think I was an alphabet guy myself.
I was a pure chaos guy, just pure chaos. So my question to you is, if we were to open up Breck Shea's CD catalog,
I have no idea.
What kind of music represents the greatest majority of music? I think it might be country, to be honest with you. I think Breck Shea might be majority country.
He's a Texas boy. I think there's some Texas. I bet you there's like, man, like some chopped and screwed, like Houston style hip hop in there. There's got to be something like Paul Wall's got to be in there somewhere. I don't know why. I just feel like that's a thing. Doesn't Breck feel like the kind of guy who probably gets into some pretty grimy like metal, like stuff that nobody really listens to?
I think that if he was 10 years older, he would have been to multiple Limp Bizkit concerts.
Oh, well, that's entry level noon metal stuff. I'm talking about.
If anyone did it for the Nookie, it's Breck Shea.
I'm talking about like that stuff that barely sounds like music. That's kind of what I'm talking about. I see what you're saying. Let's see. Okay, what about
you got Portland?
Let me see. Yep, I got Portland here. Oh, there. Well, you got to chop down a tree when you're in Portland, right?
The thing I wondered that here's one for you. I picture this is Breck Shea just went to the random city square and started chopping down a random tree like that he shouldn't be chopping down. He has no permit for chopping down this tree.
He's in a public park. Absolutely, he's in a public park right now chopping down that tree. Now, here's what I want to know from Morgan. How many pictures of Breck Shea did she have to look at to find his head in that direction to fit that picture where he's chopping down the tree?
Yeah, Morgan, if you could just turn on your mic real quick. Like, what comes first? Does the image of the activity or does the Breck Shea head happen first?
Tell us about your process, your methodology here.
So I'm not going to lie. This spent 2 full days between all of them.
Money well spent.
Jared,
Two full work hours.
follow her on Twitter, because at one point I'm on her Instagram. Follow her on Instagram. I'm on her Instagram story, and it's like one of these pictures, and above it says, "I get paid to do this." Which is great.
So Monday and Friday I spent doing this, and it performed really well. So kudos to me. But
oh, by the way,
well, kudos to your muse, by the way.
You know what I have, Jared? I know we're going to get back to this real quick. I know we don't want to spend the whole night on it, but I'm going to get back to this. But this is the picture I'm talking about that got him in trouble.
Yeah.
Have you seen that picture? You remember that picture?
That's when he plays at Arsenal. That's what his activity is.
So let's go through that. Morgan's here. Let's go through these. We'll do them fairly rapid fire because there's a lot. Let's So he went to New York to make a pizza. He's going to New Jersey. Oh, okay. Well, I guess you ride a bull when you're going to Red Bull? Okay, sure. Why not?
That's just a random picture of him kicking. Like he's got the right shape for the bull.
An interesting choice for a Philly girl. Let's see what she put. Wrangle a snake, because
that one just made itself.
Photoshop.
That was the easiest one he did all day, huh?
That's right. He goes to Seattle. He climbs the space needle. Climbs the space needle when he's in Seattle. Sure. He's also apparently taking some sort of growth potion, because he's much bigger than the people.
You got to be able to see him. Come on.
Thank you.
All right, we already did Portland. We already did Colorado. Here's the Chicago Fire. Play with fire. Oh, sure, man. He's got some magic.
Isn't there
spells.
a KC barbecue one?
There is a KC. Hold on, I'm getting there.
Oh, that's a good one.
Be part of a crew.
Is that his?
When he goes to Columbus.
Is that his hair, Morgan? Did you have to
that's his hair.
Photoshop every one of those golden locks? Good Lord.
He has had short hair at times in his career. Here he is. Oh, that's Cincinnati again. Here he is in New England. There, as like I said, dump tea in the harbor. He's got to throw some tea in the harbor. He's in Boston. We got Vancouver. Climb a mountain in Vancouver. There you go. Here's the barbecue one. Yes. Become a barbecue master.
And that's a good face, because you get smoke in the eyes, man. It hurts.
Sure, but here's the thing I love about this. That
he's on a hibachi?
He's on a hibachi.
A propane hibachi?
Yeah. Let's see. We got a couple more. Here he is in L.A. Save the galaxy.
We don't need saving, all right? We're just fine.
He's got the what's his name? The
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord. Peter Quill or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
Okay. Polar Plunge in Minnesota.
Where did you get that face, Morgan?
It's from one of the photos. I'm not even kidding you.
Is that his yeet face? Is that like his yeet face? Like anytime he's doing something really hard, like he's kicking as hard as he can or running as hard as he can, he's got funny yeet faces?
The amount of time I spent scrolling through Breck Shea photos was the majority of the time spent.
I hope this gets back to Breck Shea. I really do. I hope Breck enjoys this. I hope he gets a kick out of all the things he could be doing if he decided to hang up his cleats, his boots. I guess he does this as part of the travel with his club. He's just got to, whenever he's in another city for a couple days, you got to get him out there. All right, thank you to Morgan. Bravo, Morgan. Well done. Morgan Tensa here, giving us
for the podcast listeners, like I said, go check out the Instagram, the Best Soccer Show Instagram. Check out the YouTube videos so you can see all those images. You're missing a lot of good content if you're not there.
You are. Okay, so let's get into some meatier topics. No offense to Breck Shea. I don't think he's going to be on this list as we look at the potential roster for the U.S. men's national team for games against Mexico, Panama, and Costa Rica. And this is it, Jared. This is for all the marbles, all the Tostitos. You got to go out and get the points. Now, 3 points, just presuming a win against Panama at home in Orlando, probably gets you in, but it's not certain. If you get a point somewhere else, either in Mexico City or in San Jose, Costa Rica, you're almost guaranteed to make the World Cup. So, that's actually a good shout from Graham. Breck Shea listens to the Insane Clown Posse. That's 100% right.
He's a juggalo.
He is absolutely a juggalo. I can't believe I didn't think about that. 100% Breck Shea is a juggalo. So, there's a lot of pressure here to get this right, and the timing is not great for the U.S. men's national team. I mean, it's not just Weston McKennie, but obviously his absence is going to loom large. And we've talked out some of this stuff in previous episodes. But now that the roster is set to drop probably by the end of this week, ahead of one more weekend of domestic games for these players before they get called up. So there's always a chance you call in a team, somebody gets hurt, blah, blah, blah. You hope that's not going to be the case. Let's go through this. You want to go back to front, or do you want to? Where do you want to start? You tell me. I'll leave it.
I always wipe back to front, so let's go that way.
Okay? That's. I'm doing the mental.
Wait,
okay,
no, I don't. Front to back, Jesus.
Oh yeah.
You always go. Yeah, front to back.
Damn, dog. Inappropriate.
I don't know what. Yeah, you'd be walking right into the. Okay.
These days, I'm living that bidet life, baby. So like, it doesn't matter
know that.
anymore.
You know what the
baby,
move
you gotta
is?
get on that bidet life.
I've heard about
Team
this.
bidet, bidet FC. Till I die.
There's no space in my house for a bidet. Let's just say that.
No,
Second,
you just attach it to your toilet, dude. $35 on Amazon. I don't have that. Okay, this is where the Euros get it wrong. I don't have that lift your butt, move 3 feet, sit back down bidet. Look, who does that? Like, who's asking for that kind of mess?
You think Breck Shea's got a bidet? Probably got a bidet.
Breck Shea has a guy.
Oh God, I don't even know about that. No, what I was going to say is that if you are, I maybe $35 on Amazon. I didn't realize it was an option. The baby wipes are the key in my house. Baby wipes get
You'll never
full
go baby
use.
wipe again, baby.
Okay,
You're wasting your money.
We're doing it the wrong direction. We're going to go back to front.
Yeah,
Okay,
never do
that's what
that,
we're going to do. Let's start at goalkeeper. We talked a lot about goalkeeper recently because obviously Matt Turner is out and we don't expect him to be ready. Zach Steffen is back in training.
Yeah, so it makes
That
an
is-
interesting conversation. So if he's back in training, you got to figure that he's good enough to bring. Like
Right,
whether
he's a
he
goalkeeper,
starts,
right? He doesn't have to be match fit. He just has to be able to stand there and
And what was his
dive
injury
for the
anyway?
match.
I'm not sure what his injury was.
I think it was muscular. I think we had, at this point, it's been a while. I don't even remember.
I'm
right?
not sure either. I'm not sure what that is,
So,
but
do
he's
you-
good enough to be
do
in
you-
training.
Do you think that this decision could come down to whether or not he dresses? Because we don't expect him to start because he's not the starter at City. Do you think it comes down to whether or not he dresses tomorrow against Crystal Palace?
Yeah, even the following weekend, to be honest with you, if he's dressing in either of those games.
But that's the thing, though. Berhalter's going to make his choices. The roster. I mean, they're already talking about it. They're probably making phone calls right now.
Yeah.
But they're going to drop the roster Thursday or Friday at the latest. You're not going to have another City game between tomorrow and the roster dropping. So if he doesn't dress tomorrow, does he get eliminated from consideration, or are you thinking, oh well, City told us he's fine and he'll be back in the team next weekend?
Yeah,
so
you got to
let's call
think
him.
that there's no reason you can't. The risk of him playing is so low that you would put him on the bench even if he was 90%. Because what are the odds he gets pulled into a game? Like you bring him even if he's 90%, you put him on the bench. So if he's not on the bench, then he's probably pretty not as close as we would like, or not close enough to bring him.
Well, so the other thing is, let's say he dresses tomorrow. Again, he's the backup at Manchester City. He hasn't played in a while.
He never plays though. I mean, he's not like he plays a lot anyway.
I know he wasn't with the national team in the last window. Matt Turner started those games. If Zach Steffen is dressed and be on the bench, fit for Manchester City against Crystal Palace tomorrow, is he the starter? He did have a back injury. Is he the starter for the U.S. men's national team?
It's hard not to. I mean, you can make a case. You can make the case that Ethan Horvath is getting minutes, playing well,
Ethan Horvath
and
has
is
started
100% healthy.
5 consecutive matches for Nottingham Forest, and he has conceded 2 goals in that
3
period.
clean
if I
sheets,
have
right?
3 of those are clean sheets, yes. 4 of them in the league, 1
And
in
I think
the
one
FA
of those
Cup.
2 goals was a penalty, if I'm not mistaken, too. I'm not positive.
Okay,
but I
all
think
right. Well,
perhaps
yeah,
it was.
one of them was a win over Huddersfield Town in the FA Cup. The other 4 were championship matches. Latest one this weekend against Reading, where he kept a clean sheet. So, do you hand the starter's job to a guy who wasn't even in the team the last time around, obviously because he wasn't playing?
If you do, it's a conversation about fitness. It's not a conversation about form. I don't think that's it, because Zach Steffen retained the job with Matt Turner being in better form, getting more minutes, there's nothing about Matt Turner that didn't say that he should have stayed the starter, other than Berhalter's preference. And that's a big deal. Berhalter has favorites, and they're anyone who played for the Columbus Crew. And so there is something to be said for Zach Steffen, probably outside of being hurt. There's not much he can do to lose that job.
Okay. I think that if we're talking about the roster, though, Steffen, presuming he's healthy in the team,
I think it's a Horvath
in the
second.
team, and then it's probably Sean Johnson. I mean, look, I know people are going gaga for gaga, and he's kept clean sheets in 3 matches for Chicago so far, but he's still 17, and he's not starting at the Azteca. And if you do have to go, you have to turn to Horvath because of Matt Turner's injury, and Morgan has just informed us that Turner will be back at some point in the next week, but it's not going to be in time. Then I think you have to go with Sean Johnson as your third choice, right? An experienced guy.
Yeah, I think so, and that's the lineup for me. I think it's Stefan, Horvath, Johnson at this point.
Now, by the way, can I just go? Let's rewind for a second. How many names are we putting on this? 27? We're going 27 names?
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe he goes a little bit deeper just due to the fact that there's so many like legitimate starters that are out. There might be a little shadow squadness to this.
Okay. I don't know if you go. Maybe 20. So the problem is, obviously, you'd like to have a big squad just because of the games that are coming fast and furious over the course of a week. All the injury issues and maybe Zach Steffen's
I can see
back goes
27,
out on him.
28, and he travels 24, 25.
Yeah, he's done that before. I don't think it goes bigger. I don't think it's a 30-man roster. I think probably in part because it's difficult, especially this time of the season in Europe, to call up a team and call up a player and say, hey, we want to bring you over. There's no guarantee you're going to dress or even travel to our games, outside the country.
And
but
there's
we
two
still
of them,
like you to
2 away games in that.
We still like you to come over here and come away from your team during this crucial time. I mean, obviously it's a
Do you
window.
know where the camp is? Are they doing someplace in the southern U.S. to cut down the flight time for these?
I don't have that in front of me right now. I'd have to go look.
I wouldn't be
Somebody in
surprised
the
if it was
chat may know.
Miami or something like that. Cut down the overseas flight, the first leg of it.
Okay, so again, we are. I think I just clicked something.
Classically, though, they've gone to Colorado to get the altitude. They've even done Big Bear in the pass over here by me. So I don't know if they're going to try to do the altitude thing or not.
Okay.
Probably not.
All right, so let's go again. It is Zach Steffen, Ethan Horvath, Sean Johnson. We all agree on that. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the defenders. Let's go to the centerbacks, fullbacks here. And again, just keeping in mind that more than likely it's going to be that 4-3-3 that Berhalter prefers, although I suppose there could be a tweak here or there.
Yeah.
A couple of notes on this group, just names that were... Well, first of all, I'll tell you who was in the last team, just so you have a reference for that. Reggie Cannon, Serginho Dest, Brooks Lennon, Mark McKenzie, Chris Richards, Anthony Robinson, Miles Robinson, DeAndre Yedlin, and Walker Zimmerman. And the notes on this group, Mark McKenzie has not played since February 20th. For his team in Belgium. Chris Richards obviously hurt himself with the national team or got hurt with the national team, hasn't appeared for Hoffenheim since, did not dress in their game today. I think that match was today. So
Hoffenheim's safe, right?
Yeah, I don't know where they are.
It makes me start to wonder, is this how you bring down the value? Because Bayern says they want to sell him in the summer. Do you not play him that much? Does that decrease his value for Hoffenheim? Maybe
Hoffenheim is in 6th. Hoffenheim is actually chasing Europe right now. So I don't know that you have a good reason to keep him on the bench if you're chasing Europe. So there's that. Let's see. The names that are not here that could get considered.
Brooks Lennon can't be there again, right?
I don't think so. But let's go through this. Joe Scally, who had not played for a while, and there was lots of questions about that. And how can you call up a kid, especially who hasn't played? Played 90 minutes at wingback for Hertha Berlin against Hertha Berlin in a win for Gladbach this weekend.
But most reports show this pretty well. That he showed pretty well in that game too. So
John Brooks,
I think at the end of the day, I think Berhalter's just not a fan of Scally for some reason. I think it's just one of those things because he was very late to call him up when he was performing. And maybe this is why, young kid, you would want to see a lot of consistency out of him. But we got a lot of young kids that he's brought in with maybe a little bit less consistency. So, I mean, George Bello got how many shots?
Yeah, well, that's interesting to me. I mean, I don't know what it is. It could be right. It sounds wrong, I mean, to me, that you wouldn't call a player in who's getting those minutes in that time. And again, he hadn't played for a while. This is his first game back in the lineup for Gladbach, so take it for what it is. It's not like he's been playing consistently and there's no argument against leaving him out. You could argue that he hasn't gotten enough minutes recently, especially at his age, to be in this team.
So the left back position, it's obviously Anthony Robinson. And then, are you a Bello, a Vines? Like, are you a Joe Scally?
Well, this is why I wanted to get to just a couple of notes about this. So again, Scally comes back into the team, played at right back, or right wing back, not at left back.
Yeah.
Sam Vines was taken off at halftime in his most recent appearance, so I don't think that bodes very well to his form, his confidence. Yeah. George Bello's just not seeing the field, and he
played 45 today and looked pretty good in the game when Gio Reyna was in. I thought he looked pretty good in that game, to be honest with you.
Consistent minutes lacking, but there's that. I guess if I have to pick a backup left back, if I'm not saying, oh, well, Dest can slide over and I've got 12 other full right backs, I guess Scally. For me, Scally, I guess. I
agree, but it's
anybody.
just I don't think that's what Berhalter's going to do. Just because I don't see him taking that risk in this last window on a guy that he hasn't featured much. He's already going to have to take a bunch of other risks, mandatory.
Are we? And because I've seen this in the chat too. Are we convinced that Serginho Dest cannot play left back for the United States?
No, he plays it for Barcelona still. He's playing for Barcelona.
That's what I'm asking. So if you've got Anthony Robinson, if Jedi Robinson is your locked-in starter, and you've got Dest, and you can obviously start him on the right side, but let's say you rotate, or you've got a more defensive option. It's a Reggie Cannon, or maybe you want DeAndre Yedlin for his speed or whatever reason. You can slide Dest over if you need to. Are we in these 3 games? That's an option. You don't need to bring a backup left back.
I agree with that. I think you bring 3 right backs and 1 true left back, and you bring guys that both Dest and Scally can.
Which is what he did last time.
Yeah, that's felt comfortable to me for a while. He just doesn't do it with Scally. I just don't know why.
Okay. So if that's the case, then we are saying that obviously Jedi's in the team. Are you putting Scally into the team?
I would. Yeah.
Okay. So, but is that your prediction for this roster, or do you think that Berhalter's going to pass?
I think Berhalter will bring George Bello.
I don't think he's bringing another left back.
I think
outside of Anthony Robinson, I don't think he will. I think he'll bring Anthony Robinson, and then he'll adjust to throw somebody else on the other side if he needs to. If Robinson goes down for any particular reason, I really do think he's rolling the dice at this position. I think that's just his move at this point. In terms of
just to complete this conversation. No chance Tim Ring comes in, right?
No, I don't think so.
Still having a great season at Fulham.
Look, he deserves to be mentioned, but I don't think Berhalter wants to go down that road at this point.
The only reason I bring him up, not that I want him, not that I think he should be there, there's something to be said for final window, the leadership that's going to be needed, the presence that's going to be needed on the field to pull this through.
A guy who's been to Mexico before? Is that what you're kind of saying here?
A guy that's just been around, like a guy that he really liked early on in this window.
Can I say that we're about to mention another name at some point in this conversation of a guy who's been in these places before and done these things before?
Yeah.
Can I say that? Another guy who's been out of the team who people are like, what's going on with that?
Brooks. It's John Brooks.
I used to have it on the board.
Yeah, I don't think you have it anymore.
I think find it. All right, so let's go to right back before we get to the center backs. Let's go to right back. You said if you're not going to bring a backup for Anthony Robinson, and you do have Bello in there. I'm saying,
do you put the offer out there for Jonathan Gonzalez?
No.
Okay. I think you ask him.
Do you give him a call and say, hey, you can be our 4th fullback, our 5th fullback on the depth chart, and you can come to play? He's not. First of all, he's not going to take it. He's not going to take that call. I mean, he's not going to accept the call up. He's not stupid. You can't lock yourself in. First of all, I don't think Berhalter's in the business of the predatory cap, so he's not going to call up
there's someone
Jonathan
listening to the
Gonzalez.
show right now that wants us to say that name. So I said that name.
Okay, no, it's fine. He's obviously getting his feet underneath him in Spain, and people should be watching him, and we should be getting to the point of like, okay, yeah, maybe there's a reason to call him up. But your hands are tied because you don't want to be dicks about it and like, yeah, come to our team for the qualifiers and then give him 2 minutes and cap tie him, right? And then even then, I think he still has the option to switch if he's under a certain age and that kind of stuff. He doesn't get another cap for like a year and a half. There's literally no reason to do it. Yeah. Literally no reason to do it. So I don't think that happens.
Other than the pride for your country.
I meant from a U.S. national team perspective, calling him up.
Gotcha.
So Reggie Cannon, yes, he's in this team. I would guess.
I think so. You know me, I'm a Reggie Cannon fan. I like me some Reggie Cannon.
Reggie played 90 minutes yesterday in a draw as a
I would
right
take
wing
Reggie.
back.
I would take Reggie Cannon over DeAndre Yedlin, and I would take Joe Scally.
Well, I think Yedlin's going to be in the team too.
You think they'll take 4 right backs?
I think Cannon, Yedlin, Dest for sure, and I think I'm
saying Scally over Yedlin. Yedlin's not playing.
Okay, Yedlin's not playing. He didn't play.
Did he play for Miami yet?
Yeah, he's played for Miami. Are you serious?
I didn't know you played for. I didn't know you had played for. Do you think I'm watching Miami games? Do you think I'm watching Miami games?
Well, apparently not. But yeah, he is playing. He's playing. You think they signed DeAndre Yedlin and then didn't play him?
I didn't know if he had played yet.
But they've had 3 games. Why would he not have?
No.
But I'm just trying to understand your logic. Like, wouldn't you presume that they would play the U.S. international?
I had seen no marketing for it or anything. I don't know. I would have thought I would have seen something that our big American player we got is playing.
I'm sorry for doing this, but DeAndre Yedlin has been with Miami since the beginning of the year. They've played 3 matches in the season. How many minutes do you think DeAndre Yedlin has for
Probably
Miami?
all of them.
270 minutes. He's played every single minute so far for Inter Miami.
Yeah, and how's that project going?
They're not good. They're a bad team, but he's still playing, and he doesn't look bad.
So you're telling me that DeAndre Yedlin, come back from Europe, playing for Inter Miami is better than Joe Scally as a decision?
I think that he's not going to bring Joe Scally in with 1 appearance in the last 2 months with 0 experience in this kind of situation. This is projection. This is what I'm saying Berhalter's going to do.
So you're saying one of 2 things then. Either Berhalter's taking 4 right backs or he's not taking Joe Scally.
Yes.
Which is it?
He's taking 4 right backs. Wait, 4. Why do you say 4? He didn't have to
Yes.
take 4.
No, because you've named 3 and you haven't said Joe Scally yet.
I don't think he brings Joe. He's not bringing Joe Scally.
Okay,
He's not
that's what I
calling
just
Joe
said.
Scally. Okay. I thought we were pretty clear on that. I said
No,
he's not
I'm
calling
saying he's
Scally.
bringing it. I'm saying he's bringing him. You hadn't been. You were on the fence. You hadn't said it yet.
Oh, I thought we had moved past that. I don't think Scally's getting called. I don't think he is. I don't think Bellows getting called. I don't think Scally's getting called.
I think Scally
I don't
over
think
Yedlin.
I don't think Vines is getting called at this point. And I don't think it's Scally or Yedlin. I think Yedlin's in the team. I just think Yedlin's in the team as an option, as a sub, as
Why?
a veteran.
I don't get it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's the. What we're saying is he shouldn't be starting games, right? DeAndre Yedlin should be under no circumstances should he be starting games. Dan says he'll take Bello over Scally. Well, we should find out. Okay, let's go to center backs then. I'm not even sure we came to a number on that, a final number of fullbacks. But let's go to center
we're both
backs.
saying 3. We're just saying a different 3.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah, let's go to center backs then. We can both agree that Miles and Walker are going to be in this team. Yes?
Locks.
Okay.
Locks.
After that,
I don't think Mark
Where you going?
McKenzie comes. I think Aaron Long comes because Berhalter is a big fan of Aaron Long.
well, so Aaron Long, it's about fitness, right? Are you comfortable that Aaron Long, in the limited time he's had back on the field in the MLS regular season with just a couple of games?
Is he starting tonight?
He was on the field tonight when I was watching that game earlier. Yes,
Okay.
so he did play
That's
tonight.
as much fitness as Gio Reyna is going to have. Better than that.
Well, yeah, but he's playing at a deeper position than. I don't know if that's right. Actually, I was going to say a deeper position than Reyna, but he's not as transformative a player as Reyna.
I'm
is,
just
right?
saying that with Chris Richards out, I think Aaron Long is a guy that Berhalter has wanted in his plans from day one, and I think if you're bringing a 28-man roster, there's a place for Aaron Long to come.
Well, look, this is an easier choice if Chris Richards is hurt, which he is, and Mark McKenzie hasn't seen the field, which he has
Exactly,
not.
and that's what I'm saying. If those two are not going to be called in, then I think it's Aaron Long gets a call up to get it. Who knows? We'll see what he does. The other
So
person
that's
that needs to be
3.
brought in is John Brooks.
Okay.
This is the time. Berhalter, everything you said, you've shown him. You made an example of him. You've put him on the outs. You've made him prove himself. He's playing pretty decent in Germany. You need a center back that can perform.
I think his hand is being forced here, and look, I wouldn't put it past Berhalter not to call him, despite everything that's happened. But because of what we just outlined, because Richards is hurt, because McKenzie isn't playing, because then any other option you have is a guy who hasn't even been in qualifying yet. Like, you're not going to call up Cameron Carter-Vickers and drop him into this team, helicopter him in for the last 3 qualifiers, right? You're not going to call up Matt Miazga and say, hey, how's it going in Spain? You want to come back into the national team? I just don't think you're going to do that. And again, you're already introducing Long again, who's been in the mix before.
But before he got hurt, he was the starter, Jason.
No. I'm saying yes to Aaron Long, dude. Chill out. I'm saying yes to Aaron Long. I'm talking about Matt Miazga. You're already adding Long back in. You're not going to call Miazga back in.
I think he leapfrogs all those guys. So
give me the final 4, because I think we're in agreement here, even though you want to fight me for some reason. You go use the bidet and then come back chill, okay? Let's see if we can do that.
Let's see. It's Long. It's Miles Robinson. It's Zimmerman. And it's Brooks.
Okay. Now, again, what's fascinating about that group is that you have 2 guys that everybody is pretty comfortable will be there, and I think most people are comfortable when they play. Both of them are MLS players. Obviously, out of form or out of season in the last window, hard to know how much that affected
They're going to
them.
be playing MLS players in the Panama and Costa Rica games.
Chill out. The other 2 names that we've mentioned are guys who haven't been, for different reasons, clearly, but haven't been with the group for many, many windows at this point. It's just interesting to consider that. I don't
think there's another path.
I think you're right. Like, I think you're right. I think this is the only way to go, and I will be shocked if it doesn't end up
without
that
taking
way.
a flyer on a Cameron Carter-Vickers or something like that, or take a flyer on a Mark McKenzie who's not playing.
So that's
I don't
4.
see
Do you think there's room for a 5th, or is that?
Well, I mean, technically, Reggie Cannon's been playing on the right side of a center back 3.
He's not going to play center back for the U.S. men's national
I'm just
team,
telling you, like,
though.
there's other guys that have been doing a bit of that. I think we've seen Kellen Costa fill in on center back before in a pinch if he's had to. If we're at that point, I mean, I don't know. It depends how many guys he wants to bring. If he wants to bring 30 guys, yeah, you can sneak another center back on. Maybe bring. Mark
Let's just
McKenzie.
go with the 4 then. I'm not sure what our total players 3, 4, 8. So that's 11 at this point. Are we at 11?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go into midfield. I'm not sure what our numbers are going to be. Let's go into midfield. I still think we're maybe a defender short, but we'll find out. Let's go. Okay. So Acosta,
Jimmy Sands.
No, Jimmy. I don't. If he was playing, there might be an argument for it, but he's not playing. So, no Jimmy Sands. Kellen Acosta in this team. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Lock.
Tyler Adams,
Lock.
healthy in the team.
Yeah, I mean, he's back. He missed a game for his back pain, but he was back, I believe, this weekend on the bench.
He subbed in this weekend. Let's see. Yunus Musa. Yes,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yunus Musa, by the way, 90 minutes in a Valencia loss to Alaves. Matt Miazga.
At least he's getting minutes for
this
the first
weekend.
team. That's good, and not just in cup competitions.
Okay, so then it gets just a little bit more questionable, but I think Luca De La Torre is a lock, right?
Lock.
We gone that? Okay, 100% on Luca De La Torre. Playing
And I
for
think
Heracles.
at this point, after this weekend, Gio Reyna's a lock to be called up.
I'm not talking forwards yet. I'm talking midfielders.
I'm talking midfield. He's
It's
playing
not gonna play-
midfield.
This has always been true, that he plays midfield for Dortmund and plays forward for the U.S. men's national team.
I agree with you, but right now you have a Weston McKennie sized hole in this lineup, and you have Weah and Pulisic, who you both want to start. Where is Gio Reyna's natural place right now? I think it is in midfield for this window.
I'll tell you, well, look, I see what you're saying, and I think it's very possible that there will be a combination at some point. Look, Gio Reyna's not starting 3 games for the U.S. men's national team. In fact, he's probably starting 0 games.
Probably.
So he's a bench option. So
Yeah.
I don't even think it matters talking
But
about
I'm saying
him as
a
a
lock
midfielder.
to be called up. That's all I'm saying. A lock to be called up, and I'm okay putting him in midfield and so it saves a couple places on the forward pool because you're going to take a bunch of forwards because you have no idea who you're playing at center.
Doesn't
in center
matter.
forward.
As long as we get to 28, doesn't
I
matter.
said it doesn't matter. You called me out for saying his name in the midfield argument.
Because
You started it.
No, because you wanted to jump to Gio Reyna when I still have other players that we need to get to that are absolutely midfielders.
My bad for not following the Jason Davis handbook and cliff notes for talking about midfielders. My bad.
Look, I'm just going by what the track record is. Has Gio Reyna ever played midfield for the U.S. men's national team under Greg Berhalter in a 4-3-3?
He's only played a couple games for Berhalter, so no. But
Okay.
he wasn't playing midfield for Dortmund at that time.
Hold on. He's played more than a couple games for Berhalter. He just
He
hasn't done it
wasn't playing
qualifying.
midfield for Dortmund when he was playing games for the national team.
I don't think that's true, but okay, let's
think
go.
it's true.
Let's move forward. So we got Kellen Acosta, Tyler Adams, Luca De La Torre, Yunus Musa. That's 4 locks.
Yeah.
After that, we get to the MLS guys, right? And that's where we're
and
at.
I don't think there's a pure lock anywhere after that conversation right there. It all becomes personal opinion by Greg Berhalter. It becomes spot minutes here and there.
You and I mean, look, I know he was your boy. He's no longer your boy. He's played very well for New England so far. A couple of goals, I think, won the Champions League.
Yeah.
But I think Sebastian Leget's going to be in the team, guys.
I agree
he's
with you.
going to be there. He's
I agree
going.
with you.
And by the way, Christian
And he
Roldan,
won't travel to the away games.
Christian Roldan ran Club Leon Ragged in midweek. I didn't get a chance to see the Galaxy game. I don't know how good he looked in that match. He's playing great soccer in MLS.
Yeah.
I think Christian Roldan's going to be in this team, guys. I mean, he's not going to make a bunch of changes. Like, if he doesn't have to, he has to bring Long, he has to bring Brooks on our logic. He doesn't have to make big changes to the midfield pool.
There's
does
a
he?
part of me that wants to put a name out there that everyone's going to get mad at me about. But if we're just talking about like who's looked good over the last season or so, Alfredo Morales in this kind of situation, if you want a third guy behind Acosta and you have a third guy behind Tyler Adams, I would take Alfredo Morales as the third defensive midfielder if you want to have that depth.
It's intriguing, but it's not going to happen. It's an intriguing
With
idea.
Busio out, like I say, I would say Busio, but Busio's
Yeah.
been fighting a hamstring issue, so like I don't think there's
Busio
any chance.
seems to be out based on our most recent information. I see a lot of Georgi Mihailovic mentioned, and Georgi, I love him. I love him as a player. He is fun. He can do things that I don't think anybody else in the pool can do from a midfield position, except for maybe Gio Reyna if he's played midfield. I just don't think it's going to be bring Georgie in for this window in that position.
It's tough, man, because here's the thing, though. Like, if you need a big magic late in the game, who else can you bring off the bench? Luckily, you have Gio Reyna right now. You can bring in. That's that bit of magic. But Georgie, that's... Yeah, I don't know. Mihalovic can just make something happen. It's crazy.
Look, if it was my team, I would probably call Mihalovic in over
3 months
Roldan.
ago?
Well, yeah, but over Roldan, I would probably call in Mihalovic or Leggett, either one of them, to be honest with you.
Well, you don't really have to, because if you were in a position, luckily in the striker pool that we have, you have Pulisic, Aronson, Reyna. All of those guys can play in midfield if they need to, a forward midfield proportion of the field. Any one of them can be serviceable there if you need them to be. So you don't really have to bring Mihalovic. You can bring him in at a different point, a better window, these friendlies leading up to the World Cup, and see what he can do. Forcing him into this team right now is kind of tough with as little experience he has on the World Cup qualifier stage.
I hope he gets a look somewhere over the next couple of months. I don't know that he's going to make the World Cup team, but I think Georgie's got a future in the national team. I hope he does get a shot. Interesting when there's a little bit of a debate, and we mentioned Christian Roldan, and he is a Berhalter guy, and he's constantly in the team, consistently in the group, and he doesn't seem to do the things for the national team that he does for Seattle. Again, if you watch his performance, well, I didn't do that. Somebody else messing with some button. If you watch his performance with Seattle against Club Leon, you know, he's not playing in that. He's not being asked to be Weston McKennie, right? He's not being asked to be that guy. He's being asked to be more like a Paul Arriola type winger, right? An effort guy. Gets in behind, just kills people with that energy level.
Let me ask you we can treat this as a pick your poison,
back post
by the way,
runs.
as well.
We haven't done one in a while, man.
I know.
Never trust a big button to smile. Go on.
Fairy tale land. Anything can happen.
Okay.
Genie comes out of a bottle and says,
Yeah.
you can have one of the two Roldan brothers play for the U.S. national team. Which one are you taking? I know they're different positions. But you can have, neither one's ever played for either team. Which Roldan brother would you want for the U.S. national team?
That's interesting. I mean, I like what I've seen from Alex Roldan, but I think Christian's a better player overall. I think it's just a matter of how you use them. I think it's just a matter of how you use them. In this system where with the way the U.S. plays right now, Alex Roldan might have more utility. He might be more valuable.
I'm saying that Alex Roldan can actually play minutes for the U.S. national team. I don't know that Christian Roldan's at the depth, at the center, at the midfield position. I don't think he's going to get as much use. In terms of a career in front of them, I think I would take Alex Roldan.
Interesting. Okay. So I don't know what.
Because I think he instantly becomes the second best right back. If you need a defensive side, hey, there's some games where you don't want to play Dest because of the pressure and defensive. Alex Roldan would be the second best right back in this squad.
Yeah. Okay. That might be true. Yeah, that might be. I mean, again, depending on the role you're asking them to fill. All right. So I think we need to talk. Okay, so we've gotten through Acosta, Adams, De La Torre. We're both in agreement that Leggett and Roldan are probably going to be on the team.
Yeah.
That's 5. Did I mention Musa? That's 6.
I think that's the number.
Short. You think it's 6?
I don't think he usually takes more than 6 midfielders.
He took 7 last time.
He takes so many forwards that he doesn't take that many midfielders.
He took 6. He took 7 midfielders.
Okay, so let's force ourselves to take one more. Who's the one?
Ooh. I mean, to me, it's got to be somebody who's been somewhere around the team at some. I mean, again, if Busio being hurt kills, it's not Tanner Tessman. It's not Paxton Pomical. It's not who is it? I don't even know who it is.
I'm going to throw a name out there, and you're going to be so mad at me. You're going to call me so many names. I'm going to throw a name out there that's looked amazing lately.
You can do this, but if we're going to talk about we're Flyers, and there is one more spot open, it's probably Mihalovic. It should be Mihalovic, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But Mark Delgado's playing out of his mind.
Marky Delgado, interesting name.
He's playing out of his mind in LA
So
right
when you
now.
talk about a backup, I mean, and I know Marky is probably not just a classic defensive midfielder, but I think of him in that role, right? So I don't know.
He's cleaning up in LA right now, dude. It's been really, really impressive. Listen, I know that he's far from the team.
You guys also have Raheem Edwards looking like a star. I don't know what's happening there.
That dude's looking sick as well, man. I'm telling you, man.
Interesting.
Greg Vanny knows which guys are his guys. He's like Bruce Arena like that. Like everyone else is like, really? You want these guys? You want Josie Altidore? And then he goes and scores on the weekend. You want Sebastian Lletget? He's on fire right now.
You guys should defend set pieces a little bit better, though. Oh, and by the way,
defend better.
Did you say Mark Delgado? Delgado?
He prefers Mark these days.
I know. I just remembered that he had done that, and I want to make sure that I am respectful of his name choices. I like the name Marky, but if he wants to be Mark Delgado,
he's the Wahlberg of MLS. You know, like there was a time where he was Marky, now he's Mark.
Mark Delgado drives a Toyota Corolla, though. Like, that's not a guy.
What does Marky Delgado drive?
I don't know. He's cooler.
The lady's crazy.
All right, so let's go to forwards then, and we'll work our way through this. And I'll just go through the names I think that are 100% locks that we both agree on. Brendan Aronson, yes.
Absolutely.
Christian Pulisic, yes. Tim Weah, yes.
Yeah, you better play Tim Weah's drop. You haven't been playing it for weeks. Only at the end of the show is the only time you play the Tim Weah drop.
What was that?
Oh, here we go, saucing them up. Hit him. What?
We don't put enough respect on Tim Weah's name with that drop.
We don't. And I think of that as a Clint Dempsey drop, but you're right. That is 100%.
Oh, here we go, saucing them up. Hit him. What?
I would put Weah. I would buy something called Weah sauce.
I would
buy that and put that
on
my food.
Or anyone that breaks someone's ankles in the game when we're talking about it. Those are the two times you use that drop.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. That should be utilized in many different ways. Okay, all right. So those are the three locks. That's all. After that,
I'll give you not locks, but I'll tell you who I think Berhalter's definitely going to take in addition to this as well. On the outsides, let's not get to the number 9 position yet. Let's just keep it to the wings right now.
That 9 just causes me pain. Just pain.
I think Jordan Morrison's up there on this team.
Okay, yeah, probably does.
I think Paul Arriola ends up on this team.
Probably does. That's 5.
I think that Gio Reyna, obviously, we didn't say as a lock. If he doesn't get hurt next weekend, he's a lock on this team.
Well, so this is interesting. So, okay, we forced a name into midfield. Maybe this is why you take 6 midfielders, because you're already at 7 forwards and you haven't named a center forward yet. So I don't think that's
what I'm saying. I'm a fan of 6 midfielders just because you can play these guys in midfield if you need to.
There are going to be 2 center forwards on this team. There are going to be 2 number 9 players. Now, one of them might be Josh Sargent, right? So,
I think so.
Josh Sargent is a little bit more versatile. I imagine you could argue for that. But
I think there's going to be 3, and none of them are going to be Ricardo Pepe.
If you do that, well, then you've got you're like 10 forwards. So I think probably one of Arriola, Jesus Ferreira. You didn't mention Jesus Ferreira, right? You don't think he gets called in?
I do think he gets called in.
You do. I don't. So I don't think you can bring Arriola, Ferreira, Weah. I mean, Weah is going to be in the team. Morris. Look, I could, whatever with Jordan Morris.
Morris ain't looking great at Seattle these days. He's doing okay.
He if he had finished better against Club Leon,
I'll sacrifice Jordan Morris. I'll sacrifice Jordan Morris. I will sacrifice Jordan Morris to make room for Jesus Ferreira. I think that's a more important person to have on this team.
Well, if you're light at the number 9 position,
because here's the other thing we haven't talked about. If Gio Reyna is now taking a spot that for the last 6 months has been open for Paul Arriola or Jordan Morris since he's been back. That spot may not be there for those guys anymore because Gio Reyna's the guy.
I would argue that's right. Yes.
So let's drop Jordan Morris.
Okay. All right.
And then that allows you to take 3 strikers or 4.
No, I think you still have room for 3 now.
So I think it's Sargent.
Let me count this out one more time. I'm bad at math. Okay. So Brendan Aronson, that's 1 player. Christian Pulisic, that's 2 players. Tim Weah, that's 3 players. And then you said Jesus Ferreira, that's 4. Arriola for sure, even though you're dropping Morris, right?
Okay, that's a conversation I think we have. Don't count him yet.
Okay.
What is that at?
Well, you're at 4 now because you basically eliminated Arriola and Morris from the conversation.
So add Gio Reyna.
Okay, I think that's 5. Maybe I forget. Maybe I'm already off.
All right, and then I think you bring Sargent.
Okay, 6.
You have to bring Peafock. You have to. Guy scored again this week. 22
7.
goals. And then the conversation becomes...
What are you doing?
Greg Berhalter. Do you think Berhalter is going to go to Mexico and not have Giassi Sardes on this lineup? Is there any striker he trusts to see out a game in the Azteca other than Giassi Sardes?
So this is my attitude. And maybe I'm not thinking like Berhalter would think. I'm probably not. I don't know what goes on inside that dome that he's got. I don't think you should take Sargent and Zardes. I think you should take one of those players. I'm not saying they are exactly the same, but they do a lot of the same things. They are similar enough that I don't think you need two players of that profile, particularly when neither of them are like scoring in bucket loads right now. If one of them was a great goal scorer, you could argue the other one helps see out games. Oh, starting that guy. No, I think you need to pick one. Ride with Sargent or ride with Zardes, and I would ride with Sargent right now.
I'm about to make this dirty as a baby's diaper, okay?
Why is that your go-to?
We haven't even said Ricardo Pepe now.
I was going to ask, but I brought him up because you are going by him. You're saying he's not coming in.
We're at 24 right now, including Peafock, according to Morgan. So we have some room. 3 goalkeeper, 8 defenders, 6 midfielders, 7 forwards.
Okay.
So we can take Areola or Morris if you want. We can take Pepe.
I think Areola gets a bad rap. I think Areola's more useful.
I don't think you take Pepe. I think you take. Oh, God dang it! Here's the problem, though. Sargent he hasn't been playing center forward. We're talking about him in the center forward conversation. He's not even playing center forward.
I know, but it doesn't mean he forgot how. And I think his confidence level is high enough that you can justify calling him up again, particularly over. Look, I know. Jossie's got what, 1 goal this year so far.
Yeah,
he's played 67 minutes in 3 matches. Jossie's Zardes. He's not a starter in Columbus right now. Miguel Berry's the starter in Columbus right now. Miguel Berry, who's eligible for the U.S. men's national team, by the way. I'm not going to say
everything you're saying is completely logical, but that is Greg Berhalter's favorite player in the pool.
There have been times when Jossie hasn't been called up. Was that only because of injury? Because I feel like he's passed over Zardes at least once.
Okay, so you're saying no Zardes then? Because I'm fine with that.
Again, if you bring Sargent, I don't think you need Zardes.
Okay, fair.
All right, again, neither of them are scoring, so what the hell does it matter?
Ferreira, Peafock, Sargent, Pepe as well.
So this is where I fall into like the romance of it and the story and the narrative and just I know he hasn't scored in months and months and months. I understand he has had a rough time in Germany. It's been an adjustment. I'm just saying, like, on the do theory, on writing the movie. If you're the LA dude, you tell me. If I'm writing the movie's got Ricardo Pepe. Now, he might not need to start for the movie's purposes. In my head, he is the starter in this game because it's the Azteca, because it's Mexico, because it's the homeland of his parents, because he lived with 1 foot in 2 countries his entire life until he decided to move to Dallas to become a soccer player.
You think you're going to take Ricardo Pepe after some of the tweets that he's been caught doing lately to Mexico?
He hasn't tweeted anything. He's liked some bad tweets. Okay. That's what he's done.
Okay.
And I don't think you can hold. I don't think. Look, I'm not.
Do you think that's the right thing to do for an 18-year-old player who's already not playing well? Take him to the freaking hornet's nest of Azteca after doing that.
Okay, I don't think that Ricardo Pepe is going to have a problem in Mexico City. I just don't think that's going to be an issue. I think that the logical thing to do is to bring him and have him in reserve, have him on the bench. That's there are 3 options.
So 4 strikers then.
There are 3 options. The options are don't call him up at all because he's ice cold.
Yeah.
Call him up and leave him on the bench, have him in reserve. Call him up and start him at the Azteca. Probably not wise to start him at the Azteca, even if that would make for an incredible story.
And here's the thing: when you think
Mexico.
When you think of Jordan Peafock, are you thinking Jordan Peafock starter U.S. men's national team, or are you thinking him 30-minute player if you need a goal at a U.S. national team?
Man, like at this point, you know, call up Brian McBride and throw him up there. I don't know. I don't know.
Josie scored.
I don't know. Josie did score. I don't know, man. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know.
I think this is the reason why you potentially bring Ricardo Pepe, because he's the only one that makes sense starting, other than Jesus Ferreira. Jesus Ferreira is a lock, and here's why he's a lock. He's the only one that gives you a completely different shape offensively out of those 4 guys. Yes. You have to have another option. Yeah. So Ferreira's a lock. Then it just comes down to the other ones, and if you're going to start one of them, Ricardo Pepe has started for this team more than any striker in the pool.
Let me ask you that. Okay, you've already argued for leaving him off. Now you're saying he's
in World Cup qualifying, I should say, not in the pool overall.
Okay, so this is not even. not really pick your poison because I'm not going to ask you to choose between a binary, but
My 2 children.
give me in order of likelihood in your mind, and you have to pretend to be Greg Berhalter. I don't know if you have the shoes.
Hold on, let me change
for
my
this.
shoes.
Do you have the shoes for this? I don't think you have
I'm
the shoes.
literally
for this.
barefoot right now, so I am the
Okay.
most un-Berhalter I could ever be.
That's a-
My feet are bald instead of my head. I don't know what's going on.
Oh man. Okay.
Calm down, Greg. It's soccer. It's soccer.
In order of likelihood of starting the game at the Azteca against Mexico in a World Cup qualifier. Again, you don't have to win this game to qualify, so keep that in mind. We've already been through this, right? You can maybe play a little less aggressive.
Yep.
Jordan Peafock, Jesus Pereira, Ricardo Pepe, Josh Sargent. Give me the order in which you think they are most likely to start.
Jesus Ferreira, number 1.
Ooh, okay.
Here's my reasoning. I'll get to the other ones. The ability to pull off the back line and make the midfield more compact, I think, is something that is of value.
So you
gets,
think the weakness for Mexico is those fullbacks and those center backs trying to
Hector
split
Herrera.
them?
And Hector Herrera.
Well, Hector Herrera is a different beast, but go ahead.
I think pulling them out, because if you're going to win in Mexico, you're going to win on the counter, right? We're not going to dominate possession.
We're not going to dominate possession. I think it's possible you could have a couple moments of breaking them down, but I don't think it's going to be the overarching.
What Ferreira does by
approach.
doing that, it allows Christian Pulisic, who's on form finally, to be in a very advantageous position, as well as Tim Weah on counters. To me, that's why I think that he's the one to start. Secondly, number 2 is Josh Sargent, because he can execute the game plan. He can execute the game plan. He will be in the right positions. He will move to the right spaces, and he won't score. But he will do everything else around him correctly. Third is Ricardo Pepe. He's gotten the most starts in World Cup qualifying. He's the guy that's supposed to be the guy. I think and also the stage that it's on. Fourth is Jordan Peafock. I see him as a 30-minute striker. I don't know why. And that's not fair. He's done nothing wrong to deserve that. What I will say, though, is with Messi McKinney out, Jordan Peafock's probably the best striker in the air that we have. And with McKinney not there as a weapon, Peafock's really good in the air.
Well, if you're worried about if you're trying to utilize set pieces, we don't have a scenario in our heads unless Berhalter does decide to rotate with the Mexico game ahead of the game in Orlando. We don't have a great set piece delivery.
You don't think Kellen Costa is going to be in this game?
I don't think he's going to start the game. Oh, wait.
With Tyler Adams on the yellow card?
No. Yeah, well, okay, so now I'm thinking about the fact that we already
I don't
talked
know if Tyler Adams is starting this game, dude. Like, you can't afford to have him not at your home game against Panama.
Yeah, we talked that out. I forgot
I mean,
about the other
Berhalter could be the dude. He could do the thing of, I trust my players. They're professionals. They know not. They're playing in Azteca, dude. The emotions are going to run high. Do you trust a 23-year-old kid, one of the most mature ones we have, let's be honest, to be able to execute that on that stage and not get a yellow card? Every one of those players are going to know what position he's in. They're going to be looking for him. Because even if they don't, if you get Tyler Adams a yellow card as a Mexican player, it doesn't matter for that game, but you know the rest of your qualifying path is easier if Tyler Adams isn't playing the next one.
Okay. All right. So you're saying Kellen Acosta starts that game behind, and we already talked about this.
And Gio's the best server that we have of the ball. If he's in the games late, if he's in the games late,
if Acosta's starting, he's taking set pieces. By the way,
Gio's set pieces today looks fantastic for Dortmund.
In terms of weapons, without McKinney in there, Miles is a weapon if he's starting. Zimmerman's a weapon if he's starting. Both those players can go and win balls in the air. John Brooks, if he's in the team, who knows if he's going to be in the team.
But the more matchup problems, the better. You know, they can only have they only have 2 6-foot guys in Mexico. Mm-hmm. Well, 3 if you have.
There is this opinion. This is incorrect as far as I'm aware. Hector Herrera is not on a yellow card suspension. There was, in the last window, he picked up a yellow card late in Mexico's final match, and there was a rampant speculation, lots of people reporting that he was going to miss the USA game because of yellow card accumulation. I'm pretty sure that is his first yellow card in World Cup qualifying. Somebody can fact check that, but I went back and looked. I could not find another yellow card for Hector Herrera, so I think he's going to be available. Whether he starts or not, that's a different question. And, Tata Martino is kind of coaching for his job, too, so who knows what's going to be, what's going to happen.
To finalize your question, those are my 4 in order.
Okay. This is an interesting point from Ramiro, by the way, that if you don't play Adams against Mexico, there's a chance he'll only play 1 game in the window because if he gets a card against Panama, he misses the Costa Rica game.
But
It's
that
just the
one
thing to
game
think
he
about.
would play is the one
most
that's a
important
must
game.
win.
Yes, I do think that that's true, and I do think you have to choose between some bad things. It's Sophie's choice
I mean,
when it comes to this.
is it an automatic loss if Kellen Acosta's in the game against Mexico? The guy loves playing against Mexico. It's not
I
an
know,
automatic
he's
loss.
He's going to have to raise his game.
You're still going to be in that. You're going to be in the game if Kellen Acosta in there. To me, I just think that's the way you go at it. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit too, weak.
Okay. I don't know what the number we got to was. Somehow I think we came up short on the 27
I think we're 28.
or 28. Did we get to 28?
29 according to Morgan, 29.
Oh, well, then we probably have to cut at least one or two because I don't think he's going to go to 29. You want to? Okay, do we have the list? Because I didn't write it down. Did you write it down?
Oh, Morgan's
right.
got it? Okay, she's nodding yes that she's got it.
Okay,
Morgan, are you
let's-
able to read it back to us?
Let's just bring
Yeah.
Morgan in. I'm sorry.
So I don't know where
unfortunately
you
dropped
guys
in
got
the stream.
28 or 29, unless you guys were just talking, so I didn't know.
Yeah, we went
who
back
was
and forth quite a bit, but that was
So
there must have been a lot
I
of
have-
scribbles on your paper.
I have 25 definites, and you can tell me
Okay.
who else.
Okay.
So
Okay, go for
goalkeepers: Zach Steffen, Ethan Horvath, Sean Johnson.
Okay, can I say something? So 27 last time, he brought 4 keepers. So if we imagine he brings 4 keepers, then probably Gaga gets the 4th spot, is my guess. So we could
What about
add
Matt
Gaga
Turner
if you
he comes
want.
back?
I don't think Matt Turner's. No, I don't think that's
I
going to
don't
happen.
think-
No.
All right, we got Gaga. So then defenders: Jedi, Cannon, Dest, and then either Scally or Yudlin.
Okay.
And then Walker, Zimmerman, Miles Robinson, Aaron Long, and John Brooks.
So that's 8
Yes.
in the back?
That's 8.
Okay. He took 9 last time. And again, we know that Chris Richards is not available. If he gets to not...
We're basically losing Brooks Lennon out of this.
well,
No, he
Brooks-
took one more center back. He took one more center back
He
last
took
time.
Mark McKenzie last time. So, but we're replacing McKenzie with Brooks, at least
Yeah,
for
but
us.
we're
And
replacing
Aaron
Richards
Long.
with Brooks.
But also Aaron Long. We've added
Yeah.
Aaron Long. So that's an additional center back, whereas he took more fullbacks last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay
I
with
don't
that.
know that I don't think there's another name
okay with
there
that.
I want to... Okay, go ahead. Midfielders.
Then Adams, Musa, Luca De La Torre, Acosta, Leggett, Roldan.
Okay.
That's chalk.
I don't think there's... Unless Georgie gets a late look here.
I think
And I
that's the
don't-
unsexy 6.
Okay. And not Mark Delgado, probably, with his Toyota Corolla.
I'm
Go
just
ahead.
telling you,
And then-
Mark Delgado's playing out of his mind.
And then for your forwards, I only have 8 listed. So Reyna, Aronson, Pulisic, Weah, Sargent, Ferreira, Peafock, Pepe, and then Areola. I think you guys decided on.
I mean, it could be Areola
Yeah.
there.
If,
I mean,
if
that's
there's someone
like-
I have to drop, that's the one.
9.
Yeah.
9.
If we wanted to get down to 28, I'd be dropping Areola out of that.
So what was that total number there after we added Gaga?
25. No, 26.
26 with Gaga. So there's still one more spot based on what he called in last time. If you want to get to 27,
Man,
and the only way I
I
can
think it should be a defender, but I just don't know another one I would bring.
Again, I could see him calling McKenzie despite the lack of playing time, just because he's been in the group, not
You
because
give a
he's going to
courtesy
play.
call to CCV?
No, that's not going to happen. He's not going to add a new player. He's going to call somebody he knows.
That's true.
Even if that player isn't playing for his.
I'd
club
be
team right
okay
now.
in this one time instead of McKenzie bringing Tim Bream. I would be okay with that in this one
Okay.
roster.
Interesting.
Just for
Okay.
that leadership, just to bring it home. Not that I think he was going to play. I don't think
Good.
he's going to play.
I'm pretty sure Tim Ream has started at left back at the Azteca before. Like, I think that's something
so,
that's in
too.
my head. I think that's
I think so,
happened.
too. When he was
All right,
playing for
thank
Bolton,
you.
I think.
Thank you, Morgan, for writing that all down and keeping that all straight for us. I do appreciate that. We don't have a lot of time, Jared. Do you want to give any attention to Jesse Marsh and what's going
For
on
sure.
at Leeds?
I think we should give it a couple minutes here because
So-
that guy, he deserves it. And, his job is not done. Just for people that don't know, big win for Leeds today. We talked about it a little bit at the top.
They had to win that. And 90 added time goal to win it. They
It's the
had
way
to win
they
that
won
game.
it. It was the passion. The Ellen Road erupted. It was a great
of
goal too.
The tension, the anxiety in that building is
Yeah,
off the
Rafinha had a
charts
great
right now.
pullback. He didn't even look up. If you watch the replay, Rafinha didn't even look up to see. He just knows a guy should be there.
So
Cuts it across.
With that game, and keep in mind, I mean, Palace is way ahead, but they do play tomorrow against Manchester City, so I'm just going to throw that out there. But you've got Norwich on 17 points at the bottom. They're going down. Everybody knows they're going down.
Everyone but Everton down there won.
Burnley on
Oh,
21
that one
points. Watford on 22. Everton, who is that housing that they took, I mean, ouch. They're on 22 on 17th place. And then Leeds United 4 points up on Everton now in 16th with that win. And again, that's their first win in a while. And obviously, Jesse's first win in 3 matches that he's coached so far.
So you mentioned this earlier, tongue in cheek, and I want to talk about it a little bit. The stupid huddle thing, okay? is this an issue because the English press want to show like the word huddle is associated with American football and he's American? Is that the issue, you think?
I think there's a couple of things. Yes, I think it's partly that. I think it's also they're looking for something to bash Jesse Marsch with because he's American. I don't think they're going to come out and say, oh, he can't possibly do the job because he's American. They're not going to flat out say that. They're going to hint at it. And when he takes his team after that game against Leicester where, they had the better chances, they probably could have won that match, and he rah-rahs them a bit after the game, they're going to get up tight.
And I love how he handled it in the press conference. I'm not sure if you heard he's like, hey, a lot of times I don't see the guys again after because they have media commitments. I don't see it. I wanted to make sure I got to talk to all the guys right there in that moment. How can you argue with that?
I don't think you can. I think
if you're a Leeds fan today, are you happy with Jesse Marsch? 1 win out of 3, but you got the one you really need to get, and you did it in spectacular fashion.
I think you are disappointed with the way things went against Villa. I'm not saying you were thinking of that game as a win, but you're at home in that match. Like maybe you should play better and get a point out of it, especially since it looked. It was a regression. After what looked to be some improvement, he had like 3 training sessions before the Leicester game. They got a lot better defensively and lose that game 1-0. Then they go and play Villa at home in his first match at Ellen Road, and they get housed, and it feels like they forgot everything he'd been teaching. But again, he's only been there for a week and a half. Like, how much can you really put on Jesse Marsch and changing the way they play defensively? And then you get to... the game against Norwich, which again has to be a victory.
Question for you: if Ragnick hadn't taken Chris Armas, do you think that Jesse Marsch may have brought Chris Armas over as an assistant?
I don't. That's possible. I don't know. I think Jesse is very conscious of not over American. He's not trying to not be American. I think he just can't help that part of it. But even in his first press conference, before he had coached a game yet, he was talking about how, I know the American thing is, he got asked about the American thing. And he's like, look, I know people here don't like the word soccer. And I'm like, Jesse, you're selling us out here, man. Like, just own the word soccer. Who cares? But I get it from his perspective, right? He's got to walk this line. I mean, Bob Bradley was already probably done at Swansea by the time he said PK. But as soon as he said PK, it was like, wolves on top of him, like just chewing him apart because he dared to say an acronym or something. Like, I get it. It's you kind of have to walk a line.
Wait till he says upper V.
I don't know. It's very interesting. He also at one point in like his introductory press conference, he called them. Did he say the fans? What did he say? I think he said fans or the fan base.
Supporters.
He said the fan base, and I was like, "Ooh, Jesse, be careful. Those are supporters. They're not going to like it if you call them a fan base." Like that's yeah.
I don't know, but I'll say this: before this win, I was like, "Damn, I don't like it, but I think I'm right. He shouldn't have taken this job." This is the kind of win, though, that you can rally around.
Look,
so we'll see what it's like.
They have Everton's got 3 games in hand, which is the problem right now. I mean, first of all, Everton and Leeds are both safe as of the moment, but Everton is right there. Everton's probably going to get something out of those games in hand, but it's a 4-point gap. Leeds has a 4-point gap, but Everton's bad right now. So, barring an absolute collapse, and we've already talked through some of the matches for Leeds, right, that are winnable. This was the first one that jumped off the page, winnable, right? So they go away to Wolves on Friday. Then they play Southampton at home. All right, like maybe you're looking at that one. It's kind of important, right? I just clicked on the wrong link. So Southampton at home, then Watford at Watford on April 9th. Winnable, kind of probably need to get at least a point out of that one. Then you host Chelsea. Okay, you're probably not getting anything out of that. Crystal Palace on the 23rd. That's
but I'll
dicey,
tell you what, though, that's the game that could make Jesse happen. Like
what, the Palace game or the Chelsea game?
Just a draw.
This is the run that they've got in late April. It's home to Chelsea, away to Palace, home to City. So and by that point, City's
that's the one on the drop day.
April 30th is no. There's 3 games after that, but there's
okay.
April 30th, they have
Who's
City.
their last
Then
game?
They go to Arsenal, then they host Brighton, then they go to Brentford. Brentford at home, the final day of the season might be
Brentford
massive.
might have nothing to play for.
That might be massive. So that's the game you're circling as well. Brentford's probably going to be safe by then, but not really have any way
That's what I'm
to
saying.
move up. Yeah. All right. Anyway, Jesse Marsh doing his. I got a couple of things on the board. What I got here? Let me see what I got on the board for Mr. Marsh. Besides this one,
Zu viel Respekt für die Gegner.
I don't know what this is.
Ja?
Oh, that's just a yeah.
Ja?
Yeah.
Ja?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. All right. Patreon.com/thebestsoccershow is where you go get bonus stuff and extra stuff and access to the Slack. All kinds of stuff happening in the Slack right now. I'm not sure what the latest is. There's
Latest was was one of our guys, our boy Freddie, just trying to ruffle as many feathers as possible, talking about all sorts of stuff in American soccer.
Oh, well, he's unhappy with the way his team played against FC Cincinnati, Jared.
Yeah, FC Cincinnati just
winners,
hauling out over Orlando.
Winners. You got to give credit to Cincinnati. They probably shouldn't have won the game, but they won the game. They won the game. Congratulations.
And the one thing I'll say about MLS is that there's no perfect teams anymore. There's a couple still undefeated, but there's no perfect teams left.
Nobody's on 9 points after 3 games, which this is I think somebody said it in the Slack. This is going to be one of those years where it's just there's no clear best team for most of the season. I think Seattle has a chance at it, but as long as they're focused on the Champions League, it's going to be up and down for them. And we'll be talking about that, I'm sure, if they can make a run, if they can get past who they got next.
I don't think it's known yet, is it?
They beat Leon 3-0 in the first leg. They got to go to Leon and make that hold up. Obviously, there are 2 other MLS teams that are.
This could be
3.
a year,
Sorry,
though. I mean,
others.
we could have 3 out of 4 teams be MLS in the semifinals.
Could be. Could be.
Interesting.
All right. Patreon.com/thebestsoccershow. Ratings and reviews. Please do that wherever you get the show, Spotify or Apple Podcasts or what's another one? I don't know. Whatever your podcast thing of choice is. Go to Yelp.
Is that still a thing?
Tell them how much you loved eating at the Best Soccer Show. I don't know how that works. You go to Yelp all the time. I don't use Yelp.
I use Yelp all the time.
I'm not a Yelper. Not a Yelp person.
How do you know what's good?
Word of mouth. Ask my friends. Human contact. That
Word
kind
of
of thing.
mouth.
That's why I learned about bidets. Word of mouth. Recommendation from a
You
friend.
never see bidet and mouth in the same sentence.
No. Don't do that.
Not good.
Danger zone!
That's not good. All right. Am I missing anything? That's probably it, right? Any other news?
I think that is all. Yeah, we'll can't wait to get the roster out, and then
We
we'll be
will see if there
we
is.
might see a roster before. We should have a roster before our next show.
Yeah, we will have the roster before the next show. There's a possibility of some midweek stuff, maybe me and Morgan, depending on Jared's availability. So make sure you follow us on Twitter at Besties Soccer and on Instagram at The Best Soccer Show. There's also a TikTok somewhere that Morgan is running as well. I don't know if Breck Shea has appeared on the TikTok. I feel like he should. No? Okay. She's taking that. We need to fix that. Give Breck Shea. Breck Shea's going to meme all over. He's going to go viral on TikTok. Probably. Probably. All right, Mr. Dubois. Is that it? We're done?
That's it.
All right. See you guys next week. Bye.
Calm down, Greg. It's soccer. It's soccer.
Oh, here we go, saucing them up. Hit him, wet.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Eddie, what have you done for me lately?
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
Damn, dog, that's in a propes.
The Sausage King of Chicago.
Michael freaking Oscar Fiscal.
Jay Rodius.